Okay. Boom. Live in action. Boom. Coming at you hot in the podcast studio. I'm working off the cuff today, as most days. I have no idea what to talk about. I even thought about canceling today because I don't even know what I was going to say. So I'm just rolling with it. I had a time slot booked and I didn't want to cancel last minute because I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, I'll book it for an hour and then not show up continually and then get banned or something or not allowed to come in. So it's going to make it happen. I just started my day. I got a late start today. I mean, I chose to have a late start today. I adjusted my week. Really need to get some paperwork done. Really need to catch up on actual work, job stuff, just over broke, job stuff. But, this was open, so I thought I'd pop in a little bit early, knock out a quick 30, 45, 50 minutes, and then do actual work, eliminating an hour of my day to do the work and, doing stuff that I want to do. Is that the right way to live? I don't know. It could get me to lose my job, but you know what? Life's an adventure. You might stumble down the cliff once in a while. I have 0 views right now. There's 0 people viewing this. That's okay. I'm doing this just because I want to do it. So since I have time and nobody's paying attention, I'm going to take a sip of my Wired. Today I have Wired. It's in a Stanley Cup. If you want to sponsor me, it's in a Stanley Cup. I have a Wired X344. Okay, it comes in an orange can. This is the full sugar version. So there's like 51 grams of sugar, 200 calories in here. Very energy efficient. And then the X344 means like X bomb, let's race to the end. Because I think that's what you do when you're racing another car. When you want to race another car, you at a stoplight, you do this thing. You want to go? So X, get your speed on, 344 milligrams of caffeine. Is that enough to get me through the day? No, not even a little bit, but it's a good start. It's a good start to the rest of my day. I'll probably get a coffee after this. Do I need that? No. I hope, because this happens to me a lot, I decide not to drink caffeine in the morning. Okay. The night version of me, the night Tyler. Yeah. Okay. The night version of me says we're not going to have caffeine in the morning. We're going to cold turkey it, and it will be healthier for us to not drink any. Morning version says that was ridiculous. I don't know why I said that last night, and I don't know why the night version thought that I was going to commit to something without agreeing to this. It's the morning now. I got to wake up. I'm making a double espresso coffee. And then my water has a Zip Fizz packet in it. So I'm going to roll like that first thing this morning. But either way, I tend to get on these caffeinated tangents. And then next thing I know, focusing on a computer trying to type away when you're over caffeinated does not work. It's not conducive to my lifestyle. So then I immediately I go to a session. I just go start seeing people because that's what I do. That's what I did. That's what I got to do. I'm going to suck this down. One sip's not enough. Two's good. Two's refreshing. Welcome to episode 8, the Eternal Wizard Sage of Falafadorf. This show, as I always say, it's in the description, is about being honestly, truthfully, authentically ourselves, which is what I'm trying to do here. I stumble, trip, and fall many times in these conversations, probably embarrass myself and don't make sense. That's okay. That's who I am, honestly. So I'm going to roll with the punches on that one. So since nobody's watching this, so I don't have anybody to combat with, or there's no guest. Nope, there's nobody here. So therefore, I just have to reiterate my stories, what I'm going through or what I've, been through or what I had experienced or something with a client, something to kind of get a point across that hopefully I don't confuse while explaining that point. Hopefully I'm clear and direct in making that point. Although rewatching episodes, which I do occasionally, I have caught myself kind of getting off topic, not explaining things well, trying to backtrack, re-explain it to a fault. And so it doesn't quite make sense, but maybe some kind of information gets weaved in there for you that I don't know about. So I will say you're welcome for that. You are welcome for that. I'm welcome too, but I'm here. So I am always welcome here. Again, don't have anything in particular to talk about. Really need to try to find, no, I don't really need to try to do anything, but a direction could be good. A little banter, maybe getting somebody on here once in a while would be fantabulous. Just to have that experience of dialoguing. But that's okay. So today, I think like a good topic might be, you know, trying to listen to, I'm gonna take another sip of this. Mm. Oh, that's delightful. No, I was gonna try to make something up there and roll with it, and I thought something was coming out, but it wasn't. So this morning I woke up 5:20 something, got out of bed, decided to meditate till 7. So I think by the time I sat down, I got like hour 25, hour 26 minutes in, which was good. And sometimes in the morning, my brain's pretty quiet. And so the hour, hour and a half or whatever seems to go by real quick. And it's like, whoa, I mean, is my buzzer right? Did I do the timing right? That seemed a little quick. This morning, no. I mean, I had no caffeine in my system, which is 50% of my blood. And my brain just kept going. I just kept trying to relax. My brain just kept going. I don't know why, but it was a wild ride this morning. Anyway, did that. Then I read for about an hour. Try to do about an hour reading a day. Got that little tidbit of information, whether it's good or bad, from Jim Rohn. Okay, strychnine in your coffee guy, Jim Rohn. Just terms of promoting growth of yourself, investment into yourself, reading about an hour a day. So that's what I did. I read for about an hour this morning, and then I just hung out. Then I just hung out, did a little push-ups, little sit-ups, drank some more coffee, ate an apple with some peanut butter on it, and then now I'm here. And I don't know what I'm doing here. Don't know what to do today. There's many things I could talk about, although I don't just wanna, like, force something, I just wanna word vomit in this session. I'd like to make it important, make it, reflective. So something I have to reflect on a little bit is my own continual codependency behaviors, doing actions so that I think others will like me. And I did that just recently. There was something that I just didn't wanna do. It was a big chunk of my life. It was something I did for a decade, 10 years of my life, okay? I was in the exercise game. I know I don't look it because I look 82, but I was in the exercise game for, like, 10 consistent years. And I've been out of it for, like, I don't know, a good 5 years, in terms of just, like, not even really, like, not doing what I used to do in terms of that style of exercise. I haven't done that 5, 6 years maybe. And I got into a situation where I got invited to do something, and I didn't really wanna do it. Something in my gut was like, been there, done that. I don't wanna do that. I just, like I've done it. I did it a lot. I did it for a decade. Plus, I don't know if I wanna do it anymore. It's not that I don't have fun doing it, but it's also, like, just at a different place in my life. It's just not something I consider being a part of anymore. But I got invited to do it. So I decided, okay, I don't really want to. I said yes. In like 48 hours, I retracted that statement, said no. That caused a little rift in the personhood that I was discussing this with, that caused a little frustration that I wasn't going to participate in that. And so then I backtracked and retracted again. And 24 hours later, I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. And I went reluctantly. When in my gut, my heart of heart, my inner self said, no, that's not what I want to do. But I was trying to appease somebody. So then I ended up doing it out of appeasement, not out of my own decisiveness that this is what I wanted to do. And that's why it was wiggle woggy. That's why I went back and forth. Yes, I want to make you happy. No, I don't want to do that because that makes me a little bit unhappy. Oh, now you're unhappy. So I guess a yes again. And now I went reluctantly and took me a while to even kind of enjoy myself. And then the whole time I was like, what am I doing? Am I trying to do heavier? Am I trying to do more? I mean, I'm just kind of doing this in between them doing it. I don't really know. I have no goal here. I have no, not that you need a goal, but I have no desire to do this. So then, since I committed and went, it became this kind of assumption from the parties involved that I was going to participate on a weekly basis in this endeavor. I do not want to do that. I do not. I need now to find a way to open up dialogue and express that this is something that I did in the past for 10 years. And I like how my life is going now. I don't have any desire or want to add this circumstance, this experience back in my regular routine. I've got a decent routine. I've got a lifestyle that has developed for a while, and now it's like a blast. Most days are a blissy blast. That puts a oomph in the day. It puts another thing. It's like a task now. Before, in the lifestyle I had and the person I was and the environment I lived, I mean, that was what I did. In my downtime, this was my downtime. But it's not anymore. Like, my downtime is utilized with activities I enjoy, like this morning, sitting for an hour and 26 minutes. That was joyous for me. That, like, helped me flower. I like that. This is part of what I do now, and it has changed me immensely. I mean, I look way different, okay? I mean, I look unlike myself 10 years ago. And that is an environment I had 10 years ago. So either way, this is an issue that I thought I was over, but I'm not. I still have a people pleaser gene in me, a genome that makes me that doesn't make me, but it's a people pleaser gene that causes me to want to appease other people and have them be happy. And I do. I really want other people to be happy. If you're happy, great. But then it comes to a fine line because this is, I think I had a discussion about this before. This comes back to, are we doing things for ourselves or are we doing things for attachment with others? And that's the thing where if this person wants to do this themselves, then it doesn't matter whether I go or not. If truly is this is their desire, then it's like, show up if you want to show up. If you don't show up, like, I'm gonna grind anyway. I don't need you here. I just thought it'd be fun if you were here. But the fun does not change if you are here or not. That's irrelevant. It just adds a level of fun to it. So for me, I said yes because it seemed like me like this was going to appease the person and have them be happier. And I worry that if I don't go, I'm not there to be supportive and helpful, then you'll be unhappy. And then that causes me to have disharmony. That's also my choice to be disharmonious over somebody being upset that I'm not doing what they want. I don't need to be disharmonious. If they don't if they're upset, like, "I want you to go and you're not going," it's like, "Okay, well, that is your issue." Every issue is an internal issue. As we get older, I'm not gonna negate younger individuals on not understanding that how to, or even being capable at an age of youngerhood to accomplish the responsibility of said issues. But as we get older, we have to find a way to get out of those issues ourselves. We have to learn how to become empowered. And empowerment, the more empowered we become, the more responsibility we take with it. They go hand in hand. An empowered person, if somebody is 100% empowered, meaning, their happiness fully comes from themselves, doesn't negate enjoying time with others, but there's no need for that. They are self empowered. They accomplish what they need to accomplish. They take what they need to take. They do what they need to do to be happy. 100% empowered is attached with 100% responsibility. 100%. You are 100% responsible for all the things occurring to you. Again, we're talking about adults. We're talking about adults. Younger ages is a different factor. We'll get into that at another time. Today, we're talking about adulthood. And in adulthood, for me, at the ripe old age of 87, at adulthood, if I want to be 100% empowered, then I need to be 100% responsible. I'm obviously not, because if I was 100% empowered in that moment, I would have been decisive and said, I don't want to participate in that. There's a part in my head that says, "Oh, you might be upset if I don't do this, so I should do it, I should do it." There's a bigger part of my self-being that's saying, "We're done with that. We are done with that activity. That's not something we enjoy that much anymore, and so we don't really wanna be a part of it." That bigger thing is the empowered side of me. But again, it's not 100%. Let's just say we're talking 70-30. So I'm 70% responsible, but 30% is codependent on the other, not responsible. Well, now I have to do this because you'll be upset. Now I'll have to go do this activity. Otherwise, you'll get frustrated with me and then we'll have disharmony. What's wrong with a little disharmony, Kay? I've heard some songs that are disharmonious and I still listen to them. Boom. X344 wired. Thank you. And that disharmony is only two people who choose to be disharmonious. I could choose to say, no, I'm not going. If that person is upset, that is their issue. They are the ones upset. I could be perfectly content. I'd made my decision. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go. If you want to go, it should be irrelevant whether I go or not. It should be something you just want to do. So that's something I've got to work on, and finding those roots of codependency that still exist within me, finding those moments to self-reflect, to self-evaluate, and go, did I truly listen to what I wanted to do? Maybe I didn't go. Maybe I didn't go. And then that voice changed. It was like, that would have kind of been fun. I did go and I decided that was not that fun. I don't want to go back. I don't want to use my time for that anymore. Because once we are fully empowered and we take 100 responsibility for our lives, our decisiveness becomes way more direct, in the sense that when we decide things, we are honest with ourselves because we have 100% responsibility. Now, if I'm in a 70-30, like I said, which I don't know if that's accurate or not, but if I'm in a 70-30, that's where that indecisive comes. Because 30% of me is still into attachments, is still dependent on how others view me, how others feel. And so that 30% takes away some of my responsibility. Therefore, it's harder for me to make a direct decision that is honest and truthful and authentic to who I am now because I've got this window of of attachment issues. So even though 70% of me is like, don't do it, this 30% window takes away. It takes 30%. I'm just throwing numbers out. It takes a 30%, let's say, of the decisiveness away. Like taking a test. Maybe bubbled in A, bubbled in A, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that's the right answer, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm 70% certain that's the right answer. And that's what happens. So with 70% empowerment, let's say, there's 70% responsibility. So then again, I said, no, I don't want to go. I'm uncertain. Was that the right answer? The 30% of me is saying, nope, you should go. You should go. That's actually what you want to do. And then I get uncertain about it. So then I shift a little bit. Ooh, okay, I'll go. Right. And this shifting that I did, it causes boundaries to not be solidified. Now my boundary, right? Even though I may have had a little disharmony with somebody for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, it would have set a better boundary. It would have set a better placement holder. It's like, boom, I've decided who I am and what I want to do. So here is the wall. And then it actually would make the relationship with this person, the relating with this person, more harmonious in the long run. The short term disharmony will actually create more long term harmony because we both know where it is. Again, if I was 100% empowered, 100% responsible, then I would have been decisive. I would have said, no, activity not fit in my life anymore. I will help you. I will support you in other ways in terms of you getting to do that or whatever, or you having the time available for that. But I will mold it. I will mold that compromise to what fits to who I am now. Right. And so this boundary then is now set. There's a solid cement, steel beamed, whatever, diamond cut. There's a big wall. There's a permanent wall here. That's not something I'm going to do. And doesn't mean I can't change it, but the decisiveness right there will create long-term harmony because then there's no like, do you want to go today? I know you went once and then you didn't go, but do you want to go? Now there's this constant like, where is your boundary? The other person doesn't know where my boundary is either. And so they're constantly like trying to feel against the wall. This part's a little soft. You want to move this back over so that we can go to the exercise facility again? Do you want to move this wall? They're uncertain of where it is. When I first put that wall up or I first make that decisiveness of what I'm going to do for myself, then somebody pushes against the wall and it's like, this is immovable. This is annoying. This wasn't here. I didn't know this was here. Now I know this is here and this is upsetting. But again, we will get past that eventually, hopefully, if they're a person who's willing to willing to, relate with you on a long-term level. Eventually and sooner, they will understand there's a wall here. I can't build this here because this human being has a wall. But again, the softer the wall is, and it's like, oh, well, here's my fabricated nylon wall that constantly shifts. No, I won't do that. Okay, I'll go. Nope, I said no. You know what I mean? Then neither person really knows what's going on. There's this constant flagpole setup, and everybody's moving it around depending on how they feel that day. So that's something where I didn't do a great job of listening to the inner dialogue that was going on inside me. Because that was happening. There were 2 parts of me talking. One part, again, maybe a smaller part, but one part was saying, "Yeah, let's go. You used to have fun doing it, and they'll be happy if you go. And maybe will have fun. Maybe you'll actually get back into it." And then there's the other part, the bigger part, but either way, the other part going, "No, I said goodbye to that. I did do it. I did enjoy it. But after a decade, my life's just in a different direction now. That's a lot of time I used to spend doing that. I don't know if I want to spend that much time. I have other priorities, other activities, and other lifestyle routines that I enjoy. And I didn't do a good job in that week leading up to this of listening and really taking in the internal dialogue that was happening and then really going like this this side of me, this bigger side, this more understanding side of who I am now is clearly stating, you know, I don't want to use the word logical, but it seems a fitting word to use right now. Let me think on that for a second. X344, wired, get yours today. Orange can. I don't know what the flavor is. It's just an orange can. Probably does say a flavor on it, but there's a lot of energy drinks because that's what this is. Wired X344 is an energy drink. And there's a lot that are like, Blue Bright Star. It's like, what flavor is that? What flavor is Blue Bright Star? I mean, at least throw a color in there. Oh, I guess that did have a color actually. But still, I don't know what blue tastes like. I mean, it probably tastes like blue, but maybe a blueberry? Blue Bright Star. A bright blue blueberry? Now we've gotten to a moment where I can't retrace my track of thoughts. Something I need to work on though. Again, coming at you honest, truthful, authentic. I need to reevaluate these moments. And in all the time I spend sitting watching myself think, I still had a hard time determining which part of my thinking in this discussion was right. Well, if I have to reevaluate it, which I am right now, there was a part of me, the empowered part of you. It has a more understanding dialogue. Okay? The other one, the disempowered side of you, has a dialogue that's more attached to the experience, to the circumstance, to the situation. It seems sometimes like the nicer side. Well, that will make them happy. They will be happier if you did that. It's okay to take time out of your day to do that. And that's not a bad thing, but that's the context. That's the language of the dialogue on the disempowered side. Trying to find out, like, oh, the experience, the circumstance, situation, it's good for you, it's good for them. The understanding side of you, which is the empowered side, as we learn to listen to the empowered, the responsible dialogue in us, will understand that giving people what they need or want, that's what I should say. I should have said a want. Giving people what they want is not always what they need. So it will be more understanding, which sometimes seems more strict. Sometimes it even seems mean. But if you really pay attention to the dialogue inside yourself, you will hear the empowered side of you will come from a more understanding perspective. Understand that this person thinks they'll be happier if I come. But I also understand where their growth needs to occur and where my growth needs to occur. My growth needs to set boundaries that I have not been good at in the past. And their need is to accomplish something independently for their own personal growth. That's an understanding perspective. It's understanding where both parties are at, where both people are at, and making a decision based off the understanding of what is actually needed for my personal growth, for my truth and honesty to myself, and for giving them my truth and honesty, which shows them, which shows anybody, it is the message when we are truthful and honest with ourselves and we set boundaries that appeal to who we are. It shows others that it's allowed. You're allowed to be truthful to yourself. You're allowed to be honest with yourself, and you're allowed to be authentic. So on the surface, when you have this discussion to set this boundary, this might cause anger. This might cause an upsetness by the other person. But that's okay because you're doing what's the most understanding thing for what they need for their personal growth and experience. The experience of helping them find out who they are. As we express and we are more honest and truthful about who we are, it allows others to see the message of somebody who is who they is, so they can be who they is. And then again, in the beginning, it can be rough. It can be upsetting to individuals, but it will lead them on a path to understand more of themselves. And that's what the empowerment does. That says we become more empowered individuals. And this works full fold, whatever that means, full fold with adults, with children, with everybody. The more empowered we are, when we become 100% empowered, and then simultaneously, because they go hand in hand, take on 100% of responsibility for ourselves, we help develop these patterns in others. Not always fun. Doesn't mean there isn't a struggle in it. Doesn't mean there isn't gaps and distance created with some people because they're upset by the way you're behaving. But it creates the display of an empowered individual. So then our children learn to become empowered and more responsible at a younger age. Our partners, our friends, our relatives learn what it means to look like and act like when you are fully empowered and responsible for yourself. So I just wanted to come at you with that because that was something that's been in my head. I actually just had a discussion about this with a buddy of mine and about how I said no, then I said yes, and then no, and then I went or whatever the pattern was. And reflecting on it, I shouldn't have gone. It would have been better for the other person to go by themselves and go out on their own. It was not good for me to participate in this, yet I did. And that was also not truthful and honest to myself. I wasn't being authentic. Authentic would have been saying no. I wasn't being authentic. And so I need to work on that. It's something where I need to be better at pausing, taking in the reflection and the experience of what's going on in my head, who's talking, what's they're saying, and try to start leaning more towards the dialogue, the whatever, the talking point in my thinking, which occurs everywhere in the body. Thinking occurs everywhere. Don't get trapped in your head. The brain is not the most important thing that exists. Thinking and listening to this side is understanding of where I'm at and where they're at, and the decision that it is emphasizing to make seems difficult to do, but it also seems like it has a purpose behind it, like it has a factor of growth to the decision, not just a decision based off appeasement, based off your your gratification of getting what you want. That is the disempowered side. I will gratify you. I will gratify your momentary need so that you're happy, surface level happy, not actually deep inner core happiness, surface level happiness, as opposed to making a decision that has strain to it, but has the background purpose of helping myself and the other grow, rooting, rooting into our inner being, which then happiness starts to stem from the routine in the inner being, which that is level consistent happiness, not surface level happiness. I'm doing a lot of hands today. I got to admit, surface level happiness is like, you know, on a floaty on your back, psh, 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 on a nice river or ocean or something. And then, when a storm hits, water starts splashing in your face. You're getting tossed around. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's surface level happiness. Very dependent on what is the circumstances. Very dependent on the circumstance. Oh no, we're going to die. There's a Jesus, wake up. Blah, blah, blah. There's a storm. As opposed to inner core happiness that gets rooted where we are growing, and then we are swimming under the water in the warm, nice lake under the water. We can go on our back and look out through the top of the water. There's a big old storm. We're 10 feet deep. that storm is really not impacting us. The water's still pretty nice and warm down here, and I'm in a stillness. I have a stillness. That seemed heavy for me, although reflecting on what I just said, it seems like I made no sense to you. I don't know if I had a point to that. I don't know if any of you got any inkling of a sense of meaning from that discussion. But that was heavy. It was heavy for me. I think that really helped root in some of my own personal growth needed to, again, be more honest, truthful to my authentic self. That's what I didn't do last week. And that's where it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I still need to dig deep. I still need to root these things out. Still need to unroot some issues and root my own authenticity into my inner core, the self-being that exists, that is beyond this body and this experience. The eternal wizard sage of Falafadorf. Heavy for me. Maybe not for you. You probably turned this off 32 minutes ago. 4 minutes in, I probably started making no sense and you exited the screen. But if you're still with me, that was heavy for me. And I appreciate you being a part of that in that conversation. That one-on-one conversation with who? Myself. Because again, oh, hey. No, nobody showed up. That was a joke. Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to log off here. Probably need to try to do some job stuff. Ooh, that made my spine tingle. Okay, I love you. Thank you for being here. I will see you next week on episode 9. Hello.